Sexual abuse is often associated with the female, yet the stark reality is that it isn't just a women's issue. It's a silent battle many men fight too. Shame and stigma have locked their voices in the shadows. In every 10 rape victims is a vulnerable man trapped in silence, but some of them are daring to break the silence and share their hidden stories, challenging deep-seated perceptions. How should the society react? And what must change? Let's find out from Ikimerem Kanem Ladoja, who uncovers the hidden truth and the road to healing for men.
Two individuals chose to share their story. One chose to be anonymous, and he will be called John. John's abuse began at the age of 9 and continued for a while. He described the experience as confusing and isolating, leaving him with a deep sense of shame. However, John's journey towards healing began with a decision to break the silence.
If you could allow him to take me to his house for the night, and that because he was alone at the time. My father didn't connect anything, so he allowed me to go stay with him. So late in the night, I felt him touching me, inappropriately. I was sleeping, so I pretended as though I didn't know what was going on. So yes, he eventually did it with me. I couldn't tell anybody. The following morning, I got home. I could barely walk. The pain was there. I had to confide in my elder brother.
I was molested by family at a very early age, about 6. And not knowing how to speak about it, kept quiet. Gratefully, I relocated to Jos with my dad, and that kept the matter out of view. But a few years later, it happened again, but this time with an older, our landlord at the time, his daughter. And it was in that thing that they call play, mommy and daddy play. This time it was while I was in university. A bunch of girls lured me into a room, and at gunpoint did what they wanted to do. It's a closed system. Boys, even men don't really talk.
Emmanuel has found solace and strength in connecting with other male survivors. Both John and Emmanuel stress the importance of challenging the societal stigma surrounding male victims of sexual abuse. They emphasize that silence and shame only perpetuates the problem, preventing survivors from seeking help and healing. Social and mental health specialists note that most boys grow up in a culture that does not encourage survivors to talk about the trauma and so aggravates the challenges of the experience.
Most of the time, I would think it's lack of awareness that this particular gender too goes through issues and has abuse and has been suffering violence, neglect, or some other issues that are not spoken about.
We have found that those that have had sexual abuse as male children, they tend to have issues related to their sexual life in adulthood, issues of concentration, lingering depressive symptoms.
Getting statistics for abuse cases in Plateau State is challenging, as the National Human Rights Commission Plateau State and Plateau State Gender and Equal Rights Opportunity Commission says.
A lot of people don't want to come out to report these issues, basically because maybe for stigmatization and just to feel that, the male child is supposed to be strong and not to complain. And then some people may feel that it's a shameful thing to say that a boy child has been molested.
We've had cases where, the boys have been molested. And because of the culture of silence, around it, and I quickly would say is deliberate culture of silence. So whatever form of, violation of, that boy's rights, the boy keeps quiet with it. The boy refuses to, disclose it to anybody.
Other key players note that When survivors break the silence and share their experiences, they pave the way for a more inclusive and supportive environment for other survivors.
The counseling sections should be made accessible to boys who have been victims, and also law enforcement. They should make report to the appropriate law enforcement.
The trainings they give people, caregivers and the rest should, that is, that curriculum has to be tampered with to also include how the male child is going to be considered in that kind of training, the kind of protection. You hear parents say, I've started teaching my daughter taekwondo at the age of 10 and the rest. What about the boy?
They note that moving forward, it is crucial to continue challenging the stigma surrounding male survivors, providing accessible resources and support, and advocating for policies that protect children from all forms of abuse.